I used to scroll through my phone for hours, completely numb. I'd see the highlight reels of people I followed, the perfect vacations, the dream jobs, the relationships that looked like they came out of a movie. And I'd feel this invisible weight pressed down on me. It wasn't jealousy. It was something deeper, something more corrosive. It was the voice inside whispering, "You're not enough." And the worst part? I believed it. Hey, welcome. If you ever felt like you're falling behind, like you're not doing enough, or worse, like you're not enough, then this video is for you. I want to talk to you about something I struggled with for years, something that silently shapes how we see ourselves, something that steals our joy, time, energy, and we don't even realize it. In this video, I'll walk you through my personal journey, how comparison almost destroyed my confidence, and how I found my way back. I'll also give you the exact tools and mindset shifts I used to escape the trap, and finally start feeling confident in who I am. So if you're ready to break free, let's dive in. The trap of comparison. Let me take you back to a moment that still sticks with me. I remember sitting on my bed late at night, scrolling through Instagram. A girl I went to school with had just bought a house. Another was getting engaged. Someone else had just gotten their dream job in a city I'd always wanted to live in. And there I was, in my room, in pajamas, eating cereal for dinner, feeling like a failure. It wasn't even that I wanted what they had. It was just that what I had suddenly didn't feel like enough. Have you ever felt that? That awful feeling like your life is measured against someone else's yardstick? What I didn't realize at the time was that comparison is sneaky. It doesn't always show up as envy. Sometimes it shows up as shame, as silence, as self-doubt. It makes you question everything about yourself, your pace, your choices, your worth. And once it starts, it's like quicksand. The more you struggle in it, the deeper you sink. The digital mirror, the comparison trap has always existed. But social media, it's like gasoline on the fire. We're not comparing ourselves to our neighbors anymore. We're comparing ourselves to millions of people, most of whom are only showing their best 5 minutes of the day. We see curated perfection and mistake it for reality. That photo of someone smiling on the beach, it doesn't show the anxiety attack they had the night before. That promotion post on LinkedIn, it doesn't reveal the burnout, the missed birthdays, or the loneliness behind it. But we don't see that. We just see the result. And then turn inward and say, why don't I have that? What's wrong with me? We see the internal dialogue. That's when the real damage begins. Comparison plants seeds, little lies that grow over time. Things like, I'm not attractive enough. I'll never be successful. I'm always behind. Everyone else has it figured out but me. These lies become our inner dialogue, and that inner dialogue, it becomes our identity. We start living from a place of lack, of fear, of unworthiness, and that's the real trap. It's not just that we compare, it's that we believe the comparisons. We internalize them. We let them shape who we think we are. The hidden cost. Let me tell you something I didn't realize until much later. Comparison has a cost. And it's not just emotional, it's practical, it's mental, it's spiritual. Here's what I mean. The cost of time. Think of how much time we spend comparing. Scrolling, obsessing, wondering, overanalyzing our own posts, worrying about how we come across, ruminating on someone else's win. Time that could have been spent building, creating, resting, living, gone. Comparison doesn't just steal your joy, it steals your minutes, your days, your years. And the cruel irony? You're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's carefully edited premiere. You're losing time trying to keep up with something that was never real to begin with. The cost of confidence.
Comparison chips away at confidence like water dripping on stone. Not all at once, but slowly, relentlessly. It makes you question your value, your voice, your choices. I remember turning down opportunities because I didn't think I was ready enough or good enough.
I wouldn't apply to jobs, wouldn't post certain content, wouldn't speak up. Why? Because I had already convinced myself I didn't measure up. And if you believe you're already behind, you stop showing up. Second 20. The cost of joy. Here's something I wish someone had told me sooner. You can't feel joy when you're in a state of comparison. Why? Because comparison lives in lack, and joy lives in presence. If you're constantly looking at what you don't have, you'll never appreciate what you do have. You'll never notice the little moments, the small wins, the beauty in your own life. I missed so many of those moments. Birthdays where I was focused on what I hadn't achieved. Vacations I couldn't enjoy because I felt like I didn't deserve to relax yet. Conversations where I wasn't present because I was too stuck in my own head. Second 4. The cost of identity. Maybe the biggest cost of all. Losing who you really are. When you compare constantly, you start shaping your life around what you think success looks like, not what you truly want. You chase careers you don't care about, buy things you don't need, say yes to things that drain you. Stay silent when you want to speak, all because you're trying to fit a mold that was never meant for you. Comparison makes you forget yourself, and if you don't catch it in time, you wake up one day and realize you've been living someone else's life. I remember a moment that broke me. I was at a coffee shop trying to work, and I randomly clicked on a profile of someone I used to know. Her life looked perfect. Fashion brand, podcast, massive following, beautiful apartment. And I spiraled. I closed my laptop, walked home, sat on the edge of my bed, and cried. But not because I was jealous, because I felt like I'd wasted my life, like I'd made all the wrong choices, like I was too late. That was the lie that almost kept me stuck. But something shifted that day. I asked myself a question that changed everything. What if I stopped measuring and started living? That question, that tiny question, opened a door. I didn't walk through it all at once. It took time. But step by step, I began to see. The problem wasn't that I was behind. It was that I was using a map that wasn't mine. And to find confidence again, I had to burn that map. I had to stop chasing someone else's life and start creating my own. Bear 2. The turning point. From comparison to clarity. I wish I could tell you that there was one magical moment that instantly flipped the switch, but that's not how it happened. For me, it was a slow awakening, like fog lifting after a storm. After that night I broke down crying on my bed, I started asking myself real questions. Questions I'd never stopped long enough to consider. Questions like, who am I without all this noise? What do I actually value? Not what others say I should value. What does success look like for me? Not for the world. And maybe most important of all, Who do I want to become? That question, not what do I want to have or who do I want to impress, but who I wanted to become, became my compass, and slowly I started living by it. The Confidence Cure, step by step. So let's talk about how I built confidence again. Real confidence. Not the kind that comes from followers, likes, or other people's approval, but the kind that sticks with you even when no one is clapping. If comparison is the disease, then these were my cures. Step 1. Awareness. Name the comparison. You can't change what you don't notice. So the first step for me was simply recognizing when I was falling into the trap. I started tracking my thoughts, literally. I'd open my notes app and write things like, just compared myself to Sarah's relationship post, feeling behind because of that promotion someone shared. Started judging my body after seeing that gym influencer. It wasn't about judging myself, it was about naming it. Because the moment you name comparison, you create space between you and the lie. You become the observer instead of the victim. Step 2. Interrupt the pattern. Once I became aware, I needed to break the automatic cycle, so I created a mental pattern interrupt. When I caught myself spiraling, I'd pause and say out loud, "That's not my story." It sounds simple, but it's powerful. It reminded me that what I was seeing, someone else's post, someone else's win, was their story, not mine, and I have the power to write my own. Sometimes I'd even take a break from social media, a weekend, a week, not as an escape, but as a reset. Because confidence grows in silence, not noise. Step 3. Rewire the inner voice. Comparison often masks itself as motivation, but it's actually criticism. To truly build confidence, I had to change how I spoke to myself. I started by writing down every negative belief that came from comparison. I'm not doing enough. I'm behind everyone else. I'll never be as successful. Then, I rewrote each one with truth. I'm exactly where I need to be. My path is unfolding at the perfect pace. I define what success means to me. And I didn't just write them once. I repeated them. Every day. Even when I didn't believe them yet. Because here's what I learned. Confidence isn't a feeling. It's a repetition. The more I spoke those truths out loud, the more they became my reality. Step 4. Define your success. Comparison thrives in vagueness. It feeds off unclear goals and undefined values. When you don't know what you want, you'll want whatever everyone else has. So I got clear. I sat down and asked, what does success actually look like for me? Not for my parents, not for social media, not for society, for me. I realized success for me wasn't about being the best. It was about peace. It was about freedom. It was about waking up and feeling proud of how I live. Once I defined that, everything changed. Because when you know what you want, you stop chasing what you don't. Step 5. Focus on progress, not position. Here's a metaphor that helped me. Life is not a race, it's a hike. Some people are ahead of you. Some are behind. Some are climbing a different mountain entirely. And that's okay, because your job isn't to reach their summit. It's to keep moving forward on your own path. So instead of asking, where am I compared to them, I started asking, am I further than I was yesterday? That's it. Just small, consistent progress. One decision, one action, one choice at a time.
That's how confidence is built. Not in giant leaps, but in steady steps. Step 6. Cultivate internal validation. One of the biggest mindset shifts I made was this. I stopped outsourcing my worth. I stopped relying on external validation, likes, comments, approval, and started validating myself. Each night, I'd write down 3 things I was proud of. Not massive achievements. Sometimes it was just, I drank water instead of soda. I moved my body today. I reached out to a friend. These micro-celebrations retrained my brain. They reminded me that I was enough, not because of what I achieved, but because of who I was becoming. Step 7. Celebrate others without diminishing yourself. This one took practice, but it was a game changer. Instead of feeling threatened by other people's wins, I started celebrating them. Because here's the truth. Someone else's success doesn't mean your failure. Life is not a zero-sum game. Her glow-up, his promotion, their happiness, that's evidence of what's possible, not proof that you're behind. When I began cheering others on, I created space for others to cheer me on too. And I started attracting people who were rooting for me, not racing me. A new way to see yourself. As I applied all of this, something started to shift. I stopped looking at life like a scoreboard. I stopped measuring my worth in metrics. And I started seeing myself clearly. Maybe for the first time ever. Not through the lens of other people's opinions, not through filtered posts, not through outdated expectations, but through truth. I began to trust myself again, to believe in the value of my voice, to fall in love with the quiet parts of life, the parts that don't get posted. The truth about confidence. Let me tell you what confidence really is. It's not loud, it's not showy, it's not about walking into a room and demanding attention. Real confidence is silent. It's walking into a room and not needing to compare yourself to anyone. It's knowing that you're enough, even if no one else says it. It's choosing to believe in your worth, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. Confidence is peace, and once you taste it, comparison loses its grip. Reflection. Where I am now. Do I still compare myself? Yes, I'm human. But now I catch it. I notice it. I pause. And I come back to center. Because I know something I didn't know before. My life is not meant to look like anyone else's. And that is not a weakness. That's the beauty of it. Action step. Today, send a voice note or a message to someone you admire and celebrate their win. Then write down one of your recent wins, no matter how small. Do both, because there's room for everyone to rise. The other side of the trap. There's something I wish I could show you. Not the version of me today, confident, calm, grounded, but the version of me who used to wake up with a knot in her stomach. The version who'd lie awake at night thinking, why does everyone else seem to be moving forward while I'm stuck? I wish I could sit with her and say, you're not behind, you're just early in your story. Because that's what I didn't understand back then. Comparison makes you believe you're stuck, when really you're just still unfolding. A story that changed me. Let me tell you a quick story. A while ago, I met someone who had what looked like a dream life. They were successful, well-traveled, admired, you name it. But over coffee, they confessed something I'll never forget. They said, "I built all of this because I didn't know who I was without it." That hit me like a truck, because for years I'd been chasing validation, achievement, recognition, not because I loved it, but because I didn't know who I was without the comparison. That's when it clicked. You don't find confidence by becoming more impressive. You find it by becoming more honest. Honest about what matters. Honest about who you are. Honest about what success means to you. That's when the real work, the real freedom begins. Embodying confidence, a guided visualization. If you're watching this and you're tired of feeling like you're falling behind, if you're exhausted from carrying the weight of other people's opinions, then pause with me just for a minute. Let's do something together. Close your eyes, take a slow breath in, and let it out. Now imagine yourself, a version of you 5 years from now. Not the perfect version, the peaceful one, the one who trusts themselves, the one who walks into rooms without shrinking, the one who speaks up not to impress, but because they know their voice matters. Picture that version of you waking up in the morning. What do they feel when they open their eyes? What do they say to themselves in the mirror? What have they stopped chasing? What have they started loving? Now imagine that version of you looking back at who you are right now, today, and they smile, because they know you're already becoming them. A letter to the person who's been comparing themselves. This is for you, from me, and maybe even from a future version of yourself. Dear you, I know what it feels like to measure your life in likes, timelines, and milestones. I know how easy it is to think you're too late, too slow, too behind. But please remember this. You are not behind. You are becoming. Life isn't a race. It's a journey made of moments no one else can define for you. Stop trying to catch up to someone else's path. Start walking your own, with your head held high and your heart wide open. Your worth isn't found in comparison. It's revealed in confidence. Quiet, unshakable, grounded confidence that grows every time you choose to be yourself. And today, that choice is yours to make. Final motivational close. What confidence really looks like. So let me leave you with this. Confidence doesn't mean you never doubt yourself. It means you know who you are, even when doubt shows up. It means you stop waiting for permission to live. It means you stop apologizing for your pace. It means you stand in your own story, not someone else's. You are not here to replicate. You are here to radiate. Comparison may knock, but you don't have to open the door. Because now you have something stronger, clarity, compassion, and confidence born from truth. What to do? Journal prompt tonight. What is one area of my life where I've been playing small because of comparison? And what would it look like to reclaim it? Action step this week. Pick one thing you've been putting off because you felt not enough. Do it. Post it. Share it. Apply for it. Speak it. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start now, scared and all. If this video spoke to you, take a moment to drop a comment below and share the moment that hit you hardest. You never know. Your story might be the thing that helps someone else break free too. And if you want more videos like this, don't forget to hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and join me on this journey to building a life that's yours. Fully, freely, confidently.
You don't need to be them. You were never supposed to be. You're not falling behind. You're just rising at your own pace. And trust me, that pace is perfect.